Haki and Devil Fruit are the founding magic systems in One Piece world. It is really amazing and tiresome that we are 1100 chapters in and yet we have no clear and definite idea about all the powers of Haki and never seen a Haki master fight. Hello everyone, I am Rox and this is my second channel. You see, for the longest time, people mocked me, laughed at me, spit on me, stabbed me, and also denied the fact that Advanced Conquer Haki exists. I always had a great deal of faith in the concept of Conquer Haki because it was hyped. And Oda is not the type of writer to hype something and don't pay it off. I don't care if it's gonna take 1,000 chapters, the payoff always will come. So stay with me as I'm about to explain 10 hidden power and technique of Haki that we saw so far in the story. Don't forget to subscribe because I need it, and let's go. By the way, I'm recording this right after an earthquake, so it's really fun. At number 1, we have Haki Hame Ha, the capability of shooting Haki out of your body. The first time we saw this power in the legendary clash between Roger and Whitebeard when they split the heavens itself. Visibly speaking, the first person who used this kind of power was Roger when he flew Oden away like a fly. This is probably not a very high and difficult technique of Haki because so many people used it, but for whatever reason, Luffy didn't. Roger, Shanks, Garp, Kaido, Big Mom, even Kobe, Yamato and Zoro did it and Luffy didn't so far. Maybe by the time of publishing this video, he did it against Kizaru. At number 2, we have the concept of super speed and we only saw this power once in the entire manga. I'm talking about the battle between Garp versus Blackbeard pirates when at one very strange moment he turned to Thor from Thor Ragnarok and just blew up with thunderous Haki. We actually need to see the confirmation of how fast Garp is in the anime, but in that moment we saw he tossed Kuzan away, went to the other side of island and gave a named attack. So again, the last time I checked, Garp wasn't a god of thunder or from the Hamsworth family, so this capability directly came from Haki. And not to mention, the Haki of Garp was insanely nerfed at the old age. Even Garp himself was extremely disappointed in his own capabilities. So I want nothing more than a prime Garp using this capability at full power. Number 3 is actually spooky because Mihawk is about to show his Dracul power. You see, during one particular moment of Marineford, Luffy wanted to attack Mihawk and he saw his arm got chopped off. The strange moment is that Mihawk also saw that moment. So some people theorize it is the capability of Mihawk that he showed the future to Luffy at that moment. That's why he was impressed that Luffy is smart enough for not attacking him. You might wonder, what is the point of showing another person the future? Well, the answer very well might be, what if Mihawk shows a false future to the other person? This will give him a stupid advantage because the other person simply cannot use observation Haki correctly. But speaking of Mihawk hype, it's my legal duty to hype Shanks right after him. You see, Oda confirmed during the datasheets from Film Red that Shanks was once famous for being the killer of observation Haki, and he said this power is rooted in Shanks Conquers Haki. A strong Haki user can nullify the power of Devil Fruit, but only a God King can nullify other people's Haki with his Titanic Haki. And the fact that among every aspect of Haki, Shanks was famous for killing observation and future side of Haki, it might very well hype the observation of Mihawk as we said. Meaning the magical observation of Mihawk was so broken that Shanks needed to develop a technique to counter that attack, and that is to kill the opponent observation Haki. At number 5, and for the first time, we have a capability from the armament Haki, and that is the breath of all things. You see, in the One Piece world, the strongest swordsman is not the person who can cut everything, it is the person who can cut nothing. Meaning the swordsman has an abnormal level of control over his attacks. Imagine Mihawk going full force and attack to a mere leaf. But as long as Mihawk do not intend to cut that leaf will not be broken. For example, Mihawk used this aspect of power against Mr. 1 in Marineford War, but some other time he was aiming for flesh and yet cut ice. So perhaps this is not a power that he always used at every single attack. At number 6, we have a Haki Taki, and this is kind of scary because the potential of this power is endless. One Piece anime did a mesmerizing job portraying Gear 5 of Luffy, but I want them to portray the same level of quality when Shanks is about to show his power. Shanks targeted Grimble from 30 miles away, and you know what is even more magical than a 30 miles long raw conquer Haki? The fact that Shanks was talking to Grimble. Meaning there is a telepathic power behind Haki as well. I can go too far and claim Shanks has the capacity of mentally attack other people, but this might be too much, and after this we should just simply name One Piece as Shanks Piece. But do not forget that Conquer Haki has the potential of attacking people's will and soul. Attacking their mind and brain is not even that magical. At number 7, we have Black Blades. These blades are the rarest type of power in One Piece world. In fact, only 2 people in the recorded history of the entire world have this power. The capability of crafting a black blade was so high that even people like Roger, Shanks, Rayleigh, and so on failed to do it. Only Ryuma and only Mihawk are the people capable of turning their own sword black. It is possibly a power related to the armament aspect of Haki and maybe a mixture of both armament and conquerors. But we have no idea how these blades are crafted, what makes them so special, and what kind of power they add to the user. All I know is that Black Blade looks amazing and it's really badass, and anything badass with a hype that is wielded by strong people have my absolute support. But at number 8, the voice of all things come to play. This is also a very rare power. People like Roger, Luffy, and Oden and Momonosuke has it so far. With Haki Taki, a person like Shanks is capable of talking to other people from miles away. But with the voice of all things, you can hear the voice of everything, even objects. Now, possibly this is the most hype and strange type of power that only a selective few had it so far. I don't believe Oda is gonna create a voice-based magic system. This is most possibly part of a Haki, perhaps the force type of Haki. I want to say that I'm not sure how hearing people during a fight is a great power-up, but remember that again, Conquer Haki merely was knocking people down. Later on, the advanced forms of this power showed us much greater capabilities. But finally, the most precious one of them is the power that so far only one master showed. Zoro. As I said, I do not believe Oda will create some new magic system for some attacks. Up to this day, we have no idea what is Asura, how Zoro creates it and uses it. But we know that Haki itself in the nature is the representation of a person's soul and will. And when Zoro cut down Kaido with Asura, Kaido confirmed that okay, so you are also a Conquer-based Haki user. So logically, Kaido already confirmed that Asura is a Conquer-based attack. I do not believe if Zoro can use it, other Haki gigantic monster like Garp, Roger, and Shanks cannot. You see, as I said, there is a reason why no Haki master fought full power on screen. We only saw a couple of attacks from Roger and Shanks and some fight from an old and weakened Garp. A Garp that is safe to say is half as strong as his prime. So this demonic nature of creating a demon or a god to fight in behalf of you for a short amount of time is the most awesome aspect of Haki. And I definitely bet money on it that other people like Shanks and Mihawk among the living are about to show this capability on screen later on. And now I'm adding the final part after what happened in Egghead Island. With the help of Saint Saturn, the most magical type of Haki might be now unlocked with a lot of heavy foreshadowing. Bending space to your will and teleportation. For the longest time, we all wondered what type of power helped Shanks to travel. For the people who didn't pay attention, Shanks always showed an immense type of speed in any location. During Marineford War, he was capable of going to New World, stop Kaido, go to the Old World and stop the Marineford War. Something that story emphasized was almost around impossible. During the war itself, Shanks showed up without anybody noticing him, which is something weird because during the war we had so many great observation Haki users and none of them were able to notice Shanks. This is not a coincidence. And to prove it even more, while now we know Shanks is a celestial dragon, he walked through all the marine and went to the Holy Land of Morijoy so we can have a meeting with Gorosei. Now, I know marine is not the sharpest tool in the shed and they made a lot of wrong decisions. For example, sending random nobodies to kill Mihawk or random nobodies to stop Shanks, or a lot of bad decisions. But if Shanks can go through Marineford to the red line and come back without anybody noticing him, I mean, at this point, Marine deserves to be destroyed, right? Or all of this can be part of a greater plan. For example, the moment that we saw Kaido in an island 10,000 miles above, a lot of people rightfully asked how the hell Kaido went up to that island. And I remember a lot of people said, it doesn't matter, it's a story, who cares? Oda not gonna come up with the answer, but he did. Oda never makes a random, pointless move. And with Kaido, there was no foreshadowing around his flying capability other than him being on an island 10,000 meters above the land. But with Shanks, the story emphasized on the fact that he can travel on unusual speed to unusual places. And now, with the help of Saint Saturn, we might know that that is Haki. In Egghead Island, Saint Saturn didn't walk to the Egghead Island. He traveled through inside a magical circle that probably was made out of Haki or something. Because we know Saturn is a very great advanced Haki user, and when he was shooting his lightning, a city was lighting up. He is a great Haki user, and he was able to travel in some sort of magical way. And what if, as I said throughout this video many times, that is not a unique power, but part of a magic system, and that magic system is for the great Haki users to transfer themselves or something to other places. For example, we know out of nowhere in the Ed War, Roger was capable of defeating Shiki by summoning a great tornado. Perhaps Roger was capable of summoning and transferring a great tornado in that war and therefore defeating the fleet of Shiki. This is one of the most heavily foreshadowed capability of Haki in this story and deserves to be the final power that I'm going to introduce in this video. I hope you enjoyed this magical video and I see you all at Laugh Tale.